In a league where only one team can win, where do you get your fantasy football fix? Right here, right now. 32 teams, the real fantasy football show. And now your hosts, Philip Galinsky and Heath Kelts.
Unbelievable. Listen to that crowd. They're roaring. The crowd is roaring. It's roaring. It's roaring. The crowd is roaring because they are so happy to see France leave the World Cup. I think so, because the real 32 teams are here now in June talking about fantasy football, baby. I am Philip Galinsky with my co-host, the man with the clipboard, the man with the master plan, all right there. That's what you want, folks. Look at it. Look at it. You want it. You need it. It's Heath Kelts. How are you today, sir?
Doing great. I'm really happy that the Saints won the Super Bowl.
You're still on that Saints?
I am. Ever since 1983. Crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
So you remember Reuben Mays and Bobby Hebert and...
Dalton Hilliard,
Oh, yeah.
Eric Martin.
Ironhead Hayward?
Ironhead Hayward was one of my favorite.
Google it, Google free, Google it. We are not Googling, we have all the names. When we name drop, Google it. You will see the history of the NFL unfolding, unfurling in front of your very eyes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is 32 Teams, the real fantasy football show. We are on our third episode, and ladies and gentlemen, we're into the meat and potatoes of fantasy football running backs, and we couldn't, we couldn't just do one show about running backs.
We have to do 3.
We're going to do 3 shows dedicated to running backs. So please call us at 877-242-8212 if you have a question about running backs. We're working in alphabetical order. We're going to be starting with the Green Bay Packers today. But before we do that, we have a caller on line 1. Elvin from Brooklyn has a question about drafting. How are you, Elvin?
Good. I have a question about drafting C.J. Spiller. I've been doing fantasy football for 4 years, and I have a policy never to draft a rookie early. But everyone's saying he's the Chris Johnson 2.0. I just wanted to see what was your take on that.
All right, I have a question for you. How have you fared with that, your drafting policy? Where have you finished?
Oh, every year I make 2 leagues every year on ESPN Fantasy, and I at least win one.
All right. Heath, I'll defer to you here, and then I will give my 2 cents.
What's early to you when you draft? Like, what round would you ever take? Would you ever take a rookie running back? Elvin, would you ever take a rookie running back in the 6th round?
In the 6th round?
Is that too early for you?
Yeah.
That's too early for you. So what's the earliest that you would normally take a rookie running back?
No, I would take him in the 6th round.
You would take him in the 6th round.
Well, I had a lot of hype for him. Yeah.
C.J. Spiller is probably going to cost you either a 5th or a 6th rounder, depending on if you're in a 12-team or a 10-team league. When we talk about rounds here on this show, we're talking about a 12-team league in a standard scoring format. So we're not talking about a PPR league at all. So I'm not sure exactly how the leagues that you're running are scored. But C.J. Spiller, I would almost say that I like Javid Best a little better than C.J. Spiller for that price myself. I could see why you're interested in C.J. Spiller, but maybe take a look at, Fred Jackson seems to me to be the guy who's going to be getting the bulk of the carries there. But if you really like him, he's probably going to cost you a 5th or a 6th rounder.
Now, I can reference what Heath's saying by last year's draft when Sean Green was drafted by, the Jets, and then in fantasy, he was not there for a while.
No, I have him last year as the 6th running back, rookie running back. I had no Sean Moreno, Chris Beanie Wells, Donald Brown, LaShawn McCoy. Then I had Andre Brown ahead of Sean Green.
Right.
What was I thinking? And
but you never know is what I'm saying, because Sean Green.
You never know.
If you looked at the Jets last year, they loved Thomas Jones. They used him like crazy, but Sean Green still had an effect as a rookie.
He really did, and he really came on late in the season.
And I think that's what you're hoping for with C.J. Spiller. But you can't be telling people that you really like him, because you're going to have people take him in the 4th round just so you can't get him in the 5th.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't let that out. But,
but when you do your draft, you're doing it over the internet?
Yeah.
With a bunch of people that just register? See, that's a hard draft to figure out, because sometimes people put it on autopilot, and the next thing you know, they're drafting a tight end
Yeah, you might get him in the 8th round then.
You could be lucky and not have to waste as many picks as someone else who is just programmed to get Peyton Manning. And whatever the computer says is the best name.
Yeah.
Are the people that draft with you, are they all usually live online or not really?
Oh, they're live.
Oh, okay, good.
Maybe once or twice people were alive, but
They forget it.
yeah, they were all live.
If you can get him in the 8th or the 9th round, I think you'd be really happy with that. And that, I would say that's excellent value because that's really all you're looking for in your draft. You don't want to overpay for a player that maybe isn't going to pan out for you. You know, a 5th or 6th round pick, you want that to be somebody who you're going to start every week. And is CJ Spiller a guy you're going to start every week? Not on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, so just temper that. You know, temper your enthusiasm with a little logic. You know,
who's
for
your
yourself.
favorite team?
Oh, the Jets.
Yeah, baby. Oh, really? I didn't hear that. What'd you say again?
The Jets.
Oh. Thank you, Elvin. Thank you for the call. Thanks a lot. And let us know. Call us back. Let us know how you do in your draft. And follow us. Follow us.
We will.
32 Teams on Facebook. It's on chataboutit.com, the blog, 32teams.blogspot.com.
Okay.
Cool. All right, we got the caller. That was great. And he's a Jets fan that is thinking about a Bills player. That's kind of...
Well, he certainly isn't looking to start him against your defense twice a year. That's kind of crazy. Hey, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. What do you say? Let's hop right in.
Let's get back on the horse.
Okay. The Green Bay Meat Packers. I really like Ryan Grant this year, you guys. Ryan Grant could be the 5th back taken off the board and possibly be worth it. That's a pretty bold statement here in June. As teams look to stop the Packers' passing attack, the offensive line did improve as the year went on last year. Ryan Grant could be that guy to move up into the top 10 running backs this year. What do you think about that?
I'm tempered my enthusiasm only because you have a number 1 quarterback. Everybody loves Aaron Rodgers, right?
Sure.
Does that mean that Ryan Grant isn't going to be as effective if people believe he's just going to Aaron Rodgers is going to just throw the ball like crazy? That's my concern. That's my only concern.
Last year he finished as the number 8 fantasy running back, okay?
Okay.
I'm saying he's going to get into the top 5 mainly because he had a slow start last season. He did not score a lot of touchdowns in the first 6 games.
Okay.
He did not have that was when the offensive line had their problems. Later in the year, they finally got their stuff together, and then he started having a really good year as people were trying to stop the pass. They were leaving him open.
I can get on that bandwagon because I'm looking at the schedule.
Right, and this is another reason why I like him.
The first 4 games, people, the first 4 games of the Packers schedule, which directly coincides and reflects in your fantasy football schedule. This is one of the things that people don't take they just don't understand. It is really important that you look at the schedules of the teams and the players that you're drafting. Packers at Eagles. Bills at Packers.
I like that one.
Packers at Bears. Lions at Packers.
Hello. They play the Lions twice. They also get the Lions in the beginning of their fantasy playoffs at Detroit, then in Week 15 at New England, which is a tough game.
Right.
And then they get the Giants, but they're at home for that one. And
here's a
not
funny
bad.
thing. Here's a funny thing about this too is the Packers and their offense is pass, it's aerial attack, but it's Green Bay. And the weather really doesn't affect this offense, which is great because you would be a little hesitant.
They still run the Packer sweep.
Right. And they're playing these games like the Lions and the Packers early in the season where the weather won't be a factor. So there's going to be points to be made.
So let's get to the backups. Brandon Jackson is the backup, and he's a serviceable replacement. He sort of has taken the backseat to Ryan Grant and says, all right, I'm going to be the backup to him, and he's accepted his role. The Packers also have this kid, Craig Lumpkin, who they were very high on last year, but they're also very high on this rookie, James Starks. Here's a little sleeper for you, deep sleeper, who will compete with Jackson for the backup job in camp. I'm very interested to see James Starks run the football here in preseason. He has an injured hamstring right now, but he should be ready for training camp. When you read these injury reports right now, and you get these hamstring reports, what that says is that the guy, he's been doing something else besides working out before he went to minicamp, and now he's going to pull a hamstring, or they're working him really hard. One of those two things. And I'm hoping that James Starks is one of those guys who is working really hard and not, working really hard.
I got you. You want to squeeze in one before the break?
Let's do it.
And this is one of your favorite